So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K. I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat. And if it's Thursday, it must be Don't Believe the Hype. Now, Don't Believe the Hype is a show that we started years ago when Donovan and I were sitting in his studio at his house. Yes, Donovan has a studio at his house, and we do it on the podcast and record it as well. And the premise of that show was, don't believe everything you're told. Go beneath the surface, behind the curtain. You know how the Wizard of Oz, the little man behind the curtain, he was pulling the strings and he had everybody believing he was the great Oz. Well, pull the curtain back to see if there really is a great Oz. And so that's why we call it Don't Believe the Hype. But today we are going to be talking about the situation of Dr. Dre and his daughter, Lysandra, I think her name is. I probably have it wrong, but I'll get it right in just a second. So we're going to talk about that. And basically, the question is, should Dr. Dre help his homeless daughter? And so before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you to YouTube and Facebook for being the other side of the conversation. You guys make this so much more fun. Thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything that you do behind the scenes and making the show go further. And so before I get started, I'm going to hand it over to Donovan. What's up, man?
Yes. Believe it or not, billionaires out there could have kids that are homeless. And it just seems to me it is very, very, very interesting how in this situation, everybody's got an opinion on it, that, this young lady could be homeless. I believe Dr. Dre has like 9 children, I believe, 2 with his ex-wife. Yeah, 2 with his ex-wife. I think he has 1 or 2 with Michelle A. And, he has at least 9 children. We know that. And this is his oldest daughter. And the mother of the daughter that this girl with, they split when they were 5. And he had 3 daughters with this particular woman who's also homeless. So it's going to be interesting. It's kind of, the dynamics in this is very, very interesting. And it's a good question. I mean, how can somebody who's damn near a damn billionaire have children that are homeless, much less women?
All right, so we'll get into it. And before I do, I want to say hello to everybody. Who do we have on here so far? Thunder, what's going on? And Tazi, how you doing? And Ataya, and I know I said that wrong, but hello. And Antoine, what's going on? James and Queen, how are you? He says, I think he should help his daughter, but then again, I don't know the situation with him and his daughter. Good point. And yes, Ataya, big family. Yeah, sounds like, it's like 6 or 8 kids or something like that. And Brotham, how are you doing this evening? And Gerard, hello. And One Who Cares, Jacqueline, Jeremy, and oh, hey, long time no see. And One Who Cares says, I would hope he would. I don't think he is a Sambo, I think you're trying to say. Okay. So, and DJ, Dark Shades, how you doing? And Wilbur. All right, so let's get into it really quick. So, yes, as Donovan alluded to, Dr. Dre is the father of many children, but his oldest daughter, Latanya is her name. She is 38 years old, and she finds herself homeless sometimes, as the article says. She sleeps in her car sometimes. She is a DoorDash driver. So I guess she is out of work, and she's been trying to find work, but it sounds like up until January of 2020, Dr. Dre, who is her father, was helping her with a place to stay and some money, it sounds like. She has 4 children, the oldest one being 16 and the youngest one being 3. Now, I'm kind of confused about the story because on one end, she's saying, that she hadn't really seen him in 17 years. And if she needed to get a hold of him, she had to go through his staff or his team or something like that. And so his lawyer informed her that she was cut off due to talking bad about him in the media. And so to that, she responded, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And so she also said that it's very disheartening to know that he is paying Nicole, who he's just now getting a divorce from, over $300,000 a month. And, he has a daughter that's homeless. She also said that her father, now this is allegations coming from her. I'm not saying any of this is true, but she's saying that he was supposed to help her. And she has 2 other sisters with, that's Dr. Dre is also the father of between her mother and him. So he was supposed to help her and her sisters go to college and some other stuff. And she's saying that he never did that. Also, that he's never met his grandchildren and that she's trying to call him so, the grandkids could at least talk to their grandfather. Because she says they do know who he is and they're interested in talking to him. But as of now, she also said that she's renting an SUV that's costing her, I guess, $2,300 for 3 weeks. And she says she's only paid 1 week and that pretty soon they'll come get the car. That's what she's saying. And so she's between California and Vegas. She went to Vegas in hopes of finding work, but she hasn't, for what she says. And the wages in California are higher, but, living in California, you need a pretty penny to survive and really just even live in not even a really nice home, right? And so the debate has been throughout the internet, I guess, is Dre wrong for not helping his daughter? And does he owe her? So I'm going to let Donovan give his thoughts and I'm going to get to you guys' comments and I'll give my thoughts throughout.
Okay, I'm just going to give my personal opinion here. And I know, a lot of people think I'm this chauvinistic, traditionalist, Ike Turner type guy, right? But when it comes to women, I believe, if that was my daughter or any woman that has children, you need to help them, okay? Especially if it's my daughter. I'm going to help her because my grandkids don't want to be in the streets. And by the way, her kids are with friends, so they're not living in the car with her. So let's put that out there. So she is being responsible. But like you said, Demetra, there's a lot of questions to this because he was helping her for a time. And the question is this, okay, he was helping you. What did you do in the time that he was helping you? Did you put any money away? Did you, save? And then the car that she's got, how much did you say it was a week?
$2,300 for 3 weeks. It's an SUV that she's renting.
If it's just you, why do you have to have an SUV? Do you see where I'm going with that? I have to question a lot of, the motives. Why do you need an SUV when you could have got a compact, if that's what you're going to do to live in, which is a little bit cheaper and stuff like that. And it still gets you around where you need to go, whatever. And then I have to ask a question to this, ladies. Why is it that when you guys get a certain age, you have no friends? You have no friends. I ask my nieces that all the time. Oh, I don't have no friends. Well, guess what? When times get hard, you're going to wish you did. So there's a lot of questions there, but I like what I'm seeing in the comments. Let's get to that. But I'm speaking personally. I do not believe, because I'm a real man, any woman should be on the street if I have anything to say about it. So,
all right. So, of course, we're going to get into it. And let's see here. Whose comment do I need to see next? And DJ Dark Shade, you say, glad I made it live. Love you so much, sister. Oh, thank you so much. And I'm glad you made it too. And Leather and Luxury Cars, how you doing? And Ataya, you says, Demetra, nice look. Oh, thank you. It's easy to do. I don't have to comb my hair for like 4 days with this. And Thundy says, how does she wind up homeless? Sounds like she fell on hard times. She's in some debt from what I understand. So, I mean, it's, to me, that's not very clear, but I'm just kind of with Donovan. It's like $2,300 is a rent payment somewhere. I mean, even if it's a 1-bedroom apartment for you and all your kids in Los Angeles or somewhere around there, you can make do. So I'm not judging her, but that is kind of weird that you're renting it. She doesn't own the car. She's renting the car. So
she could have put that. Yeah, she could have put that as a down payment and bought a car, or at least for a couple of weeks before they come, or a couple of months before they come get it. And then again, to a billionaire, what is paying, $2,000-$3,000 a month?
Well, let's get comments. We're gonna get it.
Yeah. I mean, he has no problem paying $300,000 to his ex-wife.
Well, sound like he did. He was kind of forced to do it. So anyway, thank you, DJ Dark Shades. And Kojo, how you doing? He says, good afternoon from Brooklyn, everybody. Okay, and so let's see, pronounce Atia. Okay, thank you, Atia. Okay, I got it. And you say, no question. he should help regardless of their situation. And Atia says, oh, gag order. So I don't know if they had a gag order or not, but sound, y'all seen it with Kurt Franklin not too long ago where his son tried to out him for, because Kurt Franklin cussed him out and told him he was going to stick something and beat this and that. So, sometimes kids get loose with their lips. So it's probably something like that. Y'all know he ain't helping me. He got all this money. Probably something like that. I don't know.
And then let's think about it like this. Let's just use our common sense. Something must have happened between father and daughters to cause this schism because, you love all your kids, at least you're supposed to. And again, ladies, when you poison these kids' mind against the father and things, it just, I'm not saying just the ladies, but the men do it too. All these things could be a part of what's going on here because, like I said, this man's damn near a billionaire. What's a few $1,000s here and there,
And it sounds like, because she was asking too, what's different between Nicole, that's the ex-wife, recent ex-wife, and my mom. So what was so different? That's what she was asking. So maybe it has something to do with the mother. I don't know. And Leather and Luxury Cars, she says, yep, kids talking badly about you is not a reason to starve them. And Lisa, how you doing? He says, at age 38, she is not a child. And at some point, our grown kids need to be responsible for themselves. Okay. And One Who Cares says, exactly. And Sunlight, how you doing? And Jeremy, what's going on with you? Says, yes, as he should help the daughter no matter what. Be a real black man and disprove no Vaseline, quote unquote. Shout out to Ice Cube. Just because white people is cut off doesn't mean do it to each other. And let's see here. And you're welcome, Lisa. And Brotham, you say here, comments already going crazy. Let me see. Like I said, I got 4 kids I haven't seen in damn near 20 years, but I would do everything I could just to see them. And I agree with you. And I'm sorry that you have not seen your children in that long. I hope eventually you do see them.
Yes, I haven't seen my sons ever since I paid for their college, or at least you guys paid for their college using the military benefits and stuff. But you know what? I'm okay with that. But if they call me, I have boys. So I treat boys a little bit different than I do girls. I know it's chauvinistic, but I don't believe men and women are equal. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Women are superior physically and all that other stuff. Men, we're just logical. So if I don't see, I tell people this all the time. If I don't see my sons ever again in life, it's not going to bother me. That's not going to bother me. But they know where I'm at. And that's how it's supposed to be,
Absolutely. And Atia, you say he doesn't have to give her anything, but he can slide her something, buy a house and keep it in his name. And so, yeah, that's kind of what she was saying too, or somebody, he could at least buy her a house, right? Just be done with it. And Mox Nix, how you doing? He says, Dre is an old simp, shaking my head. Sunlight says, I'm a little late, but yes, that's ridiculous. And Gerard says she might have an SUV to carry all their stuff. Could be. It sounds like the children are kind of with friends here and there. That doesn't sound like they're with her all the time. It doesn't sound like she sleeps in the car all the time. She says she does have family that'll let them stay here and there. And let's see here. And Tia, you say, you can't make people be your friends or support you. And Thunder says she was getting help and she bit the hand that was feeding her. And an SUV that's rented, not sound financial thinking. And Omi CM, how you doing? Yes, Black first. And Errol, hey, how are you? And Lisa says, there is a difference between helping and hindering. What has she done to help herself? P Money, what's going on with you? Yes, indeed, Black first. And J Joa 4040, I hope I said that right. How are you? Says, how many fathers do the kids have? See, I was wondering that too. Also, where are the fathers in the larger scheme of things? Where are the fathers?
Demetra, how many times have I said, and I know this is bad to say, but I'm thinking as a man, lady. So please, quit with the stuff. I'm a man, so I think like a man, a real man. How can you have, and I'm not saying this is this lady's situation or any other lady's situation, how could you have 2 baby daddies and be in the streets? I just don't understand that. I don't understand that.
How many it is too?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just saying, if let's say it is just 2. How could you have 2 baby daddies and be in the streets? Some of y'all got 4 baby daddies and you're in the streets.
And I'm going to just throw this question out there because I ain't gave my opinion yet. How can you lean harder on your daddy than you are the children's father? And if that's an issue, can you give the fathers, the children, the children to the father until you get on your feet? Is that also an option? I'm just asking questions. I'm not judging, just asking questions. All right. And yes, Atia, she does work for DoorDash. And Brian.
Yeah, and I also heard she applied to UPS or one of the delivery services. Yeah.
And Brian, how you doing? He says Dr. Dre is worth $800 million. There's no reason why his daughter wasn't given millions by him to start her life off. Okay.
Hey, I got a good question now, and I want you guys to think about it and give me your opinions in the comments. You got $800 million and you have 9 kids. Maybe Dre sees that I'm about to be broken by having so many damn kids. Not that he can't afford them. But you think if they all just figure, hey, I got my dad, whatever the deal is, I got to take care of this, and plus a wife. Wow, maybe he's like, I might be broke.
I doubt it. And Theo, how you doing? He says this is incredibly sad. And Jeremy says, does she feel pressure to drive that kind of SUV? Being the daughter of Dr. Dre, I would hope not at this point, right? And Cortez, how you doing? He says, no, he shouldn't help her. What I read, he's been helping her. He's paid her rent last January 2020.
Right, so yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Moni, how you doing? Oh, it's still your birthday? What's really going on? And you say, the comments. It says, happy birthday to me. I'm glad to see you on both on this beautiful Thursday, Demetra and Donovan. Much Detroit love always. I think if Dr. Dre is a multimillionaire, now billionaire, shame. He was, but not quite. He's getting close, though. And by the way, Rihanna is now a billionaire, so big up to her. I like Rihanna. And Lisa says, if he was previously helping her, then she should have been getting an education and putting money away. And Anais, how you doing? And Cortez says she's 38 years old. Yes, so she's not like she's a child, right? She's his child. And Moni says, she shouldn't even have to worry about rent, and he's a billionaire, but then he's a very narcissistic, abusive person. So I'm not surprised with anything that comes up on him at this point. Not surprised. Miss A, how you doing? It says it's a father's duty to provide for his children, no matter how old they are. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
That's very true, unless, of course, you were ADOS or a former slave where everything was taken from you and you have nothing to leave. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that context of the Bible, white people love to use that and say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But how you going to do that when you ain't got no damn boots?
Well, Dr. Dre's got the boot factory.
I know, absolutely. Yeah. But then again, and by the way, Dr. Dre was raised with both his parents.
And Terry, how are you? He says, hi, guys. I think it depends. I love my children more than even life itself. And I noticed that because they know this, at some point of my adult children manipulate me, I've been brought to tears by them. Yeah, a lot of parents will say that, I've done all I can do and you still don't appreciate me. And Theo says, we are in a pandemic. Are we not? Yes, we are in a pandemic. So, yeah.
Wait. I think what Theo is basically saying there is, if we're in a pandemic and there's an eviction moratorium, how is she homeless right now?
Or maybe she got evicted before then, because the
eviction moratorium. A lot of people don't know this. The eviction moratorium only covers you paying the rent. You can be evicted for other things that break your lease. So maybe it was something like that.
Yeah, but he stopped paying in January 2020, so I don't know exactly when the moratorium went in place. Was it like April, May, or something like that?
Yeah, so April or May, right?
Maybe she was already out by then. And Ron Terrell, how you doing? He says she also said Dre didn't send them to college. If he would have sent them to college, she probably wouldn't be struggling. Yeah, because she says that he was supposed to send her and her sisters, because there's 2 other sisters that she has, as a father with him, that he didn't help them.
Wait a minute, though. See, I think that's a bad statement. A parent can't send you to college. You have to want to go and show initiative to go.
Well, she said he was supposed to pay for it, but he didn't.
But, again, let's say he didn't, but still, she should still have, that was her desire. There's Pell Grants, there's all kinds of ways you can do it, whatever the deal. Like I tell my son this, he wanted a car. This little fool didn't even show any inclination of wanting a car. You want to know how I know? He wasn't tinkering around with anything. He wasn't with his friends trying to put a car together. You know what I mean? It was showing me you don't really want a car. You just want me to give you something. No, you got to show me you really want a car. Hey, Dad, I got this part-time job. I'm doing this. Could you help me with the rest? No problem.
You're rich. Why not? You got it. You got 2 cars paid off in your garage.
Hey, and I'm thinking about getting a scooter. Just to drive up and down to where I need to go instead of taking the car and wasting gas. I can get a little scooter and just go around and do my thing.
Me too. And Terry, if I haven't already, hello, how are you? Says more than anyone or anything else. Okay. So you're saying you love your children. And you say, yo, family, blessings to you as well. And Sharon says, good late afternoon, Demetra and Donovan, and same to you.
Yes, I got a question. I got a quick question. Wasn't what's his name? The singer, Brian McKnight, in kind of a similar situation with his kids? And he said, wait a minute, y'all, we're not talking about 17, 15-year-old kids here. We're talking about...
Yeah, they tear him up on the internet, but, it sounds like he did a lot for his children, grown children as well. And Kurt Franklin, like I said, we heard about that not too long ago. And Michelle Mabel, how you doing? Says, not to the degree of help the daughter seems to need. Mona says, so I think with enough pressure, it might embarrass him in specific. I think especially with this moratorium that did get extended by Mr. Cory Booker. I think you meant Donovan. She was able. Oh, you mean Cory Bush, not Cory Booker, Cory Bush. Donovan, she was able to get another Democrat leaders to come on board.
Well, no, not really. Cory Bush, Joe, I did a podcast on it. If you saw my page, Joe Biden was pissed that they brought shame to him and forced him to do it because he wasn't going to do any executive order. Remember, what did I say the last show? Free Flow Friday. I said, what's stopping Joe Biden from writing an executive order to extend the thing? He didn't want to do it. Cory Bush, that was political theater for anybody that wanted it. Nobody showed up for that. Where was the CBC? They weren't there.
They wasn't sleeping on the steps with her.
Yeah, AOC showed up. Elizabeth Warren showed up for a photo op. The one brother from New York, he showed up for a photo op, but nobody was sleeping out there. Cory Bush, as a congressional member, makes $117,000 base salary. Do you really think she was suffering on those steps? I don't think so. That was all political theater.
Yeah, and she said that she had been homeless once before, so I guess she kind of knew what it was like. And let's see here. Anais says, men compliment women. We fit inside each other, lock and key. And Michelle,
literally
says she's hoping to be a mooch. Okay. And yes, Donovan, I love the comments too. Monet, what's going on with you? And Terry says, as adults, they can be rather, adult, including the bad. I've had to back off more than once. Wow. And Martin says, at the end of the day, if you won't even look out for your own children, that lets you know what kind of man he really is. I have zero tolerance for somebody like Dr. J because he used to beat Michelle. That's what they said.
No. If you saw the Michelle documentary, Suge Knight told her you got hit by football, okay?
Can't stand you. That was a horrible documentary, by the way, too. I was like, what in the world are we watching? I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or any of that kind of stuff. All right. And so, James, hello. If I haven't already said hello to you, says piss poor judgment. That's how. And Sunlight says, the time to ask where are the fathers is before you get pregnant. Find out where they are, then procreate with them. Laugh out loud. Very simple. And Lisa says, Demetra, that's right there. And Jacqueline, you say, absolutely, Dr. Dre should help his daughter. He says that he has helped her. How much? He says, Dr. Dre is worth millions. He could have purchased a home or apartment for her and his grandchildren. Yes, he could have. And Herbert, how you doing? He says, 10 million times 9 kids, $90 million chump change from him. I agree with you. That's nothing, right? And G, what's going on? He says, this what you get for integration. Okay, well, it looks like that set of children is by a black mother, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was. It was like when he was young and stuff like that. But also, isn't she supposed to get the child tax credit coming up? Hasn't that been dispersed?
I
I'm
don't
just,
know. I
yeah,
don't
I'm just saying, just because you have a billionaire father or a millionaire father and mother or whatever, that doesn't mean you don't get the child tax credit. I'm just saying where there's a will, there's a way. So
Donovan trying to help her figure out. He's gonna be her financial planner one way or the other. Do you collect cans, don't you? Sharon says there could be endless reasons why she might be homeless. That is true. We don't know the whole story. And LaRon, how you doing? He says Dr. Dre only dishes black kids. He loves the biracial ones. One would think that because he, spent all that money to get his daughter into USC. And so you might be on to something. And Thunder says, how long do you have to help somebody before you realize no amount of help you give them will suffice? Good question. And one who cares says, I read and watched a report on him. His ex was not having it with his other kids. That could be it too. But Terry says, I can't even get my ex-husband to take our children for a week and laugh out loud. Hell, not even overnight. Not all men want to be bothered with their children, and marriage doesn't change anything 22 years before, and then he cut off. But yeah, no, marriage is just a piece of paper, sister. But we know that, right? Vaughn, how you doing? And you said, yes, family is family. And Mimi, how you doing? He says he can afford to give them all $1 million to get them out of his life for good if he doesn't want to be bothered. That is true too. Hey, Pam, how are you? And Terry says, or if you don't believe in the Bible. And Lisa says he hasn't left yet. And Antoine says, I would give my kids $1 million to each child and tell them live your life. He could.
Right. I think that's all great and stuff. But if you haven't prepared your child for like real life and financial literacy, doesn't the Bible say a fool and its money are soon parted? Look at all the stimulus money that went out that people just went, instead of paying their rent, not everybody, they just went ham and bought other things with it. So giving a child $1 million and they're not prepared to deal with that $1 million, what do you think is going to happen to it? If I died right now, my kids would come into a lot of money, but I didn't set my will or my finances up that way. If I died right now, all my money is going to either my mother or my brother. So my kids would have to go to them to get a certain amount of money, because they're not going to get it until they get a certain age. And I want them to be mature enough to understand what is going on. Because too many of us that have insurance, we give it to the kids, or big mama leaves the house. What happens to the house? It's on a sheriff's sale because they don't know how to pay the taxes on it. Or they sell it real quick and then they get $250,000. Living in California, realizing $250,000 for a house can't get you nothing in California. So now you're gone. You're out of the state. So, you got to make sure, was she prepared to take care of those finances? Because obviously, if her dad's been helping her all these years and she's still in financial straits, maybe she wasn't financial literate.
And Lisa, you say we have no idea what he will leave them, and we don't know if he hasn't already given her $1 million worth of help or any of that. So there's a lot we don't know, right? And if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go past the replies of you guys replying to each other to save time. And Sharon said he is mean, a mean man toward women, and maybe his daughter is no exception. That could be true too. And Thunder says a woman with kids, there's Pell Grant student loans. There's a lot of things that help women with children for education. Yeah, she could get housing and a whole bunch of stuff. But if she's got $2,300 somewhere to rent a rental car, I don't know. And Brian says 9 kids times $1 million is only $9 million, taken away from what Dre's net worth would have been at the time. More than likely, he wouldn't have missed it. Oh, not at all. And Terry says, I'm always trying to send children to college. They refuse to go, then become 30. And now at 50, I'm ready to retire. And now I'm supposed to send them to college? Hell no. And you know what? Tell them Walmart and Target is now sending their employees to college for free. So they could go get a part-time job there. But yeah.
Well, McDonald's have been doing that. They've been giving them that money. You remember those commercials?
Right. And Cortez says, Miss A, but you use the Bible. Everyone doesn't believe in the Bible. And Almond J, how you doing? He says he paid for college for his mixed child with that white woman. Yeah, he did. And gave USC $70-something million. And NIE says, yes, they disrespected Brian online. And Errol says, most college graduates did not have a billionaire to pay for it. I'm rich, not my kids. Okay. And Lisa says, just my opinion, but I feel at ease knowing my son, who is 27, can provide for himself in the event that something happened to me. that will prevent me from being able to help in a situation.
Absolutely. That's what I tell my boys. Hey, the liquid assets, I'm going to go enjoy my life. Whatever's left, y'all can have. Y'all can have. But in the meantime, just like Errol said, I'm rich, not y'all.
Okay. Queen Callie, how you doing? He says, good evening. And yes, he should help his daughter. And you also say a billionaire is not like he's destitute. Well, yeah, he's close, like 800 and something $million. So he's close enough, right? And cherry soda. Now I want a cherry soda. How you doing? He says, where is her trust fund? I don't know. Maybe he gave it to her, and she's like, there's a lot of questions to, be answered, right? Not that it's our business,
right.
But
again, let's look up Eazy-E's kids. None of them are millionaires and stuff like that. Some of his kids are just normal people walking around. There was a thing on YouTube where they just recently got him a new headstone, and that younger daughter was talking all kinds of craziness at the thing, talking about why did it take this long? I don't know how'd you get his birthday wrong? Just drama. But see, again, and I'm not like judging anybody, they're from an environment of street, they come from that street environment. So not knocking anybody. What I'm saying is, notice that the white chick made sure her children were taken care of. Tiger Woods, the Asian mama, made sure the Asian family was taken care of. You see where I'm going with that? And it's like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have been taken care of, but at what point do you say, okay, I'm 70 years old, my dad needs to pay for my Geritol? Come on.
Yes, indeed. And Demetra, how you doing? And Laurent says, report says Dr. Dre's daughter and him have been estranged for 18 years, meaning he basically abandoned her at 17.
See, but that doesn't make sense because he's been paying her rent up until like 2020 or something. So the stories are kind of jumbled. I mean, he's been doing some kind of financial stuff. I saw her on, what's that, the one news journal thing. And then
magazine probably.
Yeah, it was like a news journal thing. And she was saying all she wants is a phone call for her kids now.
What's we know it.
Yeah, what's the story?
You want more than a phone call. You sleeping in your car. I'm sure you want more than a phone call. I mean, just keep it real. You ain't got a lot to kick it. And Demetra says, Donovan and Demetra, I miss y'all. We miss you too. But you know what we at, girl? And Terry says, laugh out loud, lock and key. Literally, he's a fool. Donovan ain't got no sense. And Cortez, he says, and again, everyone isn't religious. Exactly. Faith and believe. Okay. And Errol, he says, he can get them out of his life much cheaper than that. That is true. How about $500,000? And one who cares says, Corey Bush only for show. She's from my state. Okay.
If anybody knows her, she used the death of her son or whoever that was. And I'm not saying, it was bad, but like a lot of these families that their loved ones gets murdered, they're on the gravy train to getting paid. I mean, if you see what they're doing, I mean, that's what they're doing now. It's getting paid and going about their business.
Brother Samuel, how you doing? He says, greetings, D&D. Don't know what's been said already. However, at a certain point, you can't blame mama or daddy. You have to take responsibility, in all caps, for yourself. You got to grow to a connection to God, to the God yourself. Absolutely. And I want to say, too, thank you, Brother Samuel, for alerting me that I had made the Final Call newspaper yesterday. I didn't know. He, texted me yesterday.
Wait a minute. I hope my name was mentioned in that.
It was in a very, very, very fine print. But no, it was a statement because Twitter had gotten rid of the NOI's Twitter page. I said that Twitter did not make the NOI and it cannot break the NOI Nation.
Amen.
For those of you guys who don't know, and they put my little quote in there, so I was stoked all day long. So thank you for telling me that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, brother Samuel X. But here's the thing. And I've been saying this and I've been watching Demetra grow and stuff. And her mother had put this upon her. And I'm just seeing all these great things happen to her. And I just want to say, friend, nobody deserves it more than you do.
Oh, well, thank you. I take all forms of payment. I'm just playing. That guy from Texas, how are you? Says, peace, everyone. And Joe, I know I'm saying it wrong. He says, how did she reach the age of 38 to have 3 but 4 kids, possibly never married, yet she is broke? All questions that should be answered. I think it's fair. I don't think that's taking shots at her. I think it's fair. And Queen Kelly says, even if if he doesn't have a relationship with her, he should help his daughter. And Ashanti, how you doing? He says, as he may owe taxes. So Dr. Dre may owe taxes. Well, he's got the money to pay it off unless he owes more than that. And Militant, how you doing? He says he should help his daughter. And Lorraine says, if you look at most black male celebrities, they leave the children they make with black women, get famous, get rich, date out, and treat their mixed wives and kids like gold. That is a trend. I will agree with you on that. I've seen that.
Yeah, but here's the caveat. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Closed mouths don't get fed, black women. Closed mouth. You put no demands upon a man, he ain't gonna do nothing.
But can I? This is my metal straw. I'm gonna use it as a microphone. Brother, you know you left some kids with me. Do I got to do all of that to tell you to ante up at least your part of it? I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, how many of you guys remember Dwayne Wade's ex-wife out in front of the stadium with the kids, shaming the brother? You know, it's just so bad. It's just terrible. And like I said, I'm not giving men a pass, because see, and this is the thing, ladies, and it's crazy to me how you guys don't see that. And Demetra sees it. I am super hard on the men when it comes to being a real man. Samuel X will tell you the whole thing. We're men, and we stand the way we stand because we're bringing home the whole loaf. That's why I could make a stand and say, this is how it's gonna be, period. But you got these milquetoast brothers out here that are messing the game up, and it's messing up the whole community.
Yes, indeed. And Zarp, how you doing? It says, should Dre help his homeless daughter? Yes, he's one of the wealthiest people in the country. Yes, he is. And Ashanti, you say she may owe taxes. Oh, okay, so 1099 Uber. Yes, she might, because that is 1099 income. Hey, Terrence, how you doing? And Leather and Luxury Car says there should be zero need for any type of government assistance. If I'm a billionaire, I would be so embarrassed.
You know what? That's a good point. But unfortunately, if you are a billionaire, you don't pay taxes. Get it? Right? Yeah. Most billionaires don't pay taxes. We pay them.
Right. And Ataya, you say, and I it's a Tia, right? I think I said it right. I knew I was going to forget a Tia. It says, how can you have the means to help your child but don't help them? Are they not obligated to one another as parent and child? If that's not the case, then children should not take care of older parents.
Well, guess what? This new generation, they're not doing it. So all bets are off.
And Terry says, I'm sorry, but if I'm the millionaire, that's my money. That's why I raise my children to be self-sufficient, so I don't have to raise them forever. And Leather and Luxury Car says, also, I see a lot of people in here who think money is all the help a person needs. You can hand the kids millions if you don't show them how to use it. If they will, and they will always be poor. So absolutely, that is a good point. And Cherry Soda says, I know that he just doesn't honor his black children. It could be the case. And Errol says the Bible also says, if you don't work, you don't eat. Okay, let's tell the whole story. And Cherry Soda says,
but that verse was specifically for men, not women.
Well, Cherry Soda says, whatever happened to her trust fund, if she had one, right? And Todd, how you doing? Says Donovan, seriously, he says $2,500 to $300 child tax credit compared to the $1 billion he's worth. Dre needs to be taken out back and throttled with a Jamaican whip. Woo! And Sharon,
he needs to be horse whipped. Yeah.
Yes, Sharon, that is awful. You're replying to Cherry Soda. And Mimi says that's their problem. If they can't manage free money at that point, they're on their own. And Atia, you say, I agree, financial literacy matters. Cherry Sodas, you're saying, hi, Sharon, I grew up in Compton. And Thunder says, how about get each one of those duplex and let them take it from there? Well, there's some good suggestions in here. And Atia says, Walmart wages are low, very low. And Sharon says,
okay, let me ask this real quick. Thunder, though, what happens if you did that and then financial literacy, they don't know what to do, and that goes under? Do you still help them at that point? When do you know what I mean? The question is, when do you say I'm done?
We're gonna get into it. And Sharon says, I hear that he has a good relationship with his sons. And then he have a son that died a while back. And Herbert says, like George Bush said, there's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again. He should do his due diligence and share the wealth, and then it's on them, if he hasn't already, right? And Joe, you says, I doubt she never got any money all her life. I'm with you on that one. You also say, but it could be possible. And Atia says, Thunder, right, get a duplex. And Terry says, exactly, nothing wrong with helping. But what some of y'all are saying is coddling. That's not helping her at all. And I'm going to give my opinion. I'm just get through all of these comments, a lot of them, so we don't get behind. And Tahari, how you doing? He says, other cultures set their children up financially. Ours have to start over every generation. And Sharon says, yes, she did. And Atia says, oh, you're replying to Tahari. And Cherry Soda says, I don't think these rappers are honoring their children from the black mom, and they take full care of the mixed ones. That seems to be the case, right? And Samuel says, good stuff, Donovan. A good parent trains a child to leave the home and be self-sufficient. If you make them dependent, you've done them a disservice. Yes, indeed. And Lisa says she needs to be calling the kids' fathers. Yeah, I mean, has she? Hey, Dr. Matthews, how you doing? And Terry says, awesome. Congratulations, Demetra. Oh, thank you. I was shocked. I really was. And VJ Brick, how you doing? Oh, I thank you so much for that compliment. And Terry Soda says she has the same mentality as the rest of these single moms. He didn't intervene in her early years and teach her, so her failure represents him. That is a good point. And Jacqueline says, life happens. Thank you, Pam. And Jeremy says, yeah, his new ex-wife is taxing his ass. Well, you figure it, what is it? That comes to what? Over $3 million a year?
Yeah, 3.9 a year, almost $4 million a year.
He gonna trick that off on a new girlfriend next weekend.
Yeah, and didn't his daughter also say that he's got like side chicks that he bought houses for and stuff and put them up?
Yeah, he's probably spent that in the last 5 minutes. And Sharon says, I totally agree. Hey, Corliss, how you doing? Says, that's why I keep my mouth open, okay? Like, what I need you to send me is, and Dr. Matthews says she sure did. And Frank, how you doing? He says, what? He got a homeless daughter, yes, 38 years old, sleeping in her car sometimes while delivering DoorDash. And Dr. Matthews says, what about men who attack women? Oh, boy, nah. And Atia, you say, milk toast. That was Donovan, not me. Tahari says he's got grandchildren by his homeless daughter. Is he leaving his grandchildren, his legacy to the streets? Well, I think they're friends.
Yeah, but that's a good question, though. See, and this is a problem in our generation. A lot of people in the X generation did not raise their grandchildren because mama and granddaddy doing it because they had the means to do it. And thus, that generation talks about us not knowing shit, not doing shit, and not whatever, because they didn't let us. Because when they came up, they had children, they had to take care of them. We come up, oh, baby, you go out and do what you got to get yourself together. I got the kids over here. You know, you just go get yourself together, right? Then they want to talk about us. So is it a grandparent's responsibility to raise the grandchildren? Because I told my boys all the time, I don't care how many kids you got out there, whatever the deal is, granddaddy loves the kids. You can bring them over. But when granddaddy got a date or granddaddy got to do, take the kids with you. Hey, Dad, I'm going down the street to the liquor store real quick. I got to go get some gas. Take the kids with you. Take them all with you because I'm not that type of grandfather.
Yeah, that's a no for me as well. I don't have any grandkids yet. James, how you doing? He says, dear brother, a man is a man. Putting real out front is unnecessary. The other brothers are males at best. Okay. And Terry says, while I agree with LaRon, we can't completely absolve mom from allowing this. There's a way to prepare our children for self-sufficiency despite the rich and famous father and not looking so desperate. Yeah, nobody said anything about her mother that I'm sure raised, was a part of her life to more of a degree than her father was. So that's an excellent catch. And Sharon says, taxes in California stinks. Yes, indeed. And Dr. Matthews says, what about men who attack women? So you put it twice. That one day we'll get into that. And Sunlight says, milk toast means weak. Yes, it does. And Pariahs, how you doing? He says, wow, I finally caught you guys live. Yes, indeed. Donovan said that I was early, so maybe that's why he caught us live. Fight for Black, how you doing? He says, homelessness oftentimes places one in a totally different state of mind. You may be around people, but those individuals are foreign to you, leaving you secluded. She needs help, immediate help. Good point. And Dang, my thing jumped up. And Dr. Matthew says, what about keyboard gangsters who attack women? Well,
milk toast. Milk toast.
Milk toast. Milk toast. That's it right there. And Anais says, is she often on drugs? Is she? We have to understand him not helping her. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we just don't know, right?
Well, what about the other two sisters? We're just talking about the two sisters that are directly related to her. How are they doing?
They don't seem like they're homeless. She hasn't said that they are. So
right. And then my mom, I only have one brother. My mom raised me. You know, we're grown. He's my older brother, a year older than me. If I needed something, I go to my brother first before I go to my mother.
Then the other question too is, I just want to throw this out there. You guys can think about this. Is why is she homeless to the point of sometimes sleeping in her car? Where are her sisters? She can't stay with them, or her mother or grandmother. Like, is there some other family members? And if not, then is maybe, I'm just throwing this out there, is maybe the problem her? I'm just asking. And let's see here. Where did I go? And then I say, good evening to Robin. How you doing? And Joe, you say, more than half of Black men that make 6 figures or above are married to Black women. That is very true. And let's see here. And Tisha, how you doing? And Frank says, one of his sons don't mess with him. Okay. And Sharon says, if she is into something, at least I'll be worried about my grandkids. It doesn't sound like they've ever met him. From what she's saying, they've never met their grandfather. She says she just wants, they want to talk to him. And Fight for Black says, marrying outside of your race, especially Black men, leave the white women rich and her race as well. 3.5 million in yearly spousal support is not worth the trouble. Yeah, that's a good point too. A lot of people say that when they divorce, a lot of the money does go outside of the community. And Cherry Soda says his Black children are and have no financial security with him as their dad. He's a foolish man not feeding his bloodline. Good point. Dr. Matthews says keyboard gangster. And Unpopular, how you doing? He says that man has 2 kids with Nicole that are above the age of 18 and they're being left for the streets. No. Laugh my ass off. No, he's taking care of them for what it sounds like, right? To spade all that money. And I was talking to my daughter earlier. I was like, why didn't he just give his daughter the $70-something million opposed to giving it to a school? She's going to go pay for education. You know, I get having a degree, but I would have just gave my daughter the money since I'm giving it away and say, hey, go start a business, live your life, and do whatever you want to do. But I don't know, maybe the degree is worth something.
Or have her take out the loans or whatever, and then just have her dad reimburse her to pay off the loans.
He was trying to get her into the school. That's what that was about. And let's see here. And Terry says, I'm one of millions of grandmothers raising grandkids. My 70-year-old parents are raising a couple of my nephews. See, so I told my daughter, she don't have no kids. Grandmama or granddee, that's what they gonna call me if she ever have any. I watch the kids out of recreation, but not obligation. If, you know, I want to take them to Disneyland or wherever we run around the backyard, that's going to be on me. But as far as I got to take care of your kids, was I there when you was making them? Then there's your answer. And let's see here. And Atia, he says, talking about the breakdown of the family and the community. Yes, indeed. And Sharon says, no, not the grandparent. Help out with wisdom. Yep, I can definitely do that. And Dr. Matthew says, what's the issue with men that have issues with females and trying to take them down? A lot of it is jealousy. That's a lot of it. I just say that just from personal experience. A lot of it is just jealousy. And Wilbur says, it amazes me that I can't get an additional life insurance because of my height and weight, yet I watch white people kill one another over life insurance on the ID network every day. You know, I used to sell life insurance and I would tell people all the time because they'd be like, well, I don't know. If I put this person as the beneficiary, they might kill me. I said, that's usually the first person they look at is your beneficiary. So if you thinking about taking a life insurance policy out on somebody and doing away with them, you might want to think twice because you're about the first person they're going to come knock on your door. So just so you know. And Errol says, I taught my kids not to loan money to relatives. When I tried to borrow money from them, they reminded me of what I taught them. Absolutely. And Cherry Soda says Black women have to protect their teen daughters from early pregnancy because they will more than likely have a very hard life. Yes, indeed. I had my daughter when I was 21. It wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy either. I'll tell you that. So I couldn't imagine being a teen mom, right? And Unpopular says because she's living in California. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people with 3 jobs that cannot afford to live in California. So, and Sharon, you say hello, Kitty, and Jeremy says, "Hey, Donovan, don't let that cat be the reason you're still single."
Well, look. I've lost a lot of relationships because of my cat and my dog. But guess what? That cat's been raising me since I was 40 years old. She can't do no wrong in my eyes. Sorry.
I'm going to keep reading. Tia. Yes, that is a cat. He's got a few cats. And Cherry Soda says, it's easy to become homeless in California. There's a lot of working poor people going into high-rise buildings and sleeping in their car at night, working at good jobs, but just are homeless because they can't afford to live there. Seems like to me, if I was them, I would move, but I can't tell people what to do. And Antoine says, good point. It could be the daughters. Yeah, you don't know what role she's playing because right now we're assuming because she's got the spotlight that she's innocent and she's doing nothing wrong and he's just horrible to her, which some of that may be true. I'm not, defending either one of it, but I think we need to look at the whole story. Like if you sleep, because I know I got probably 20 other options before my car is an option. I'm just saying, for me, and I would think that's probably true for most people. But your car is the go-to before you go to a whole bunch of other people? One who cares says tax write-off. Yeah, that would be for her father, I would think. And Sharon says some parents, my way or the highway. Yeah, well, if you asking me for my money, like my daddy said, if you can't take my advice, you can't take my money either. So take it or leave it. And Brother Samuel says, what I'm hearing make me think of the prodigal son story of the Bible. When the son came back to the father, he ran to meet him and killed the fat calf. I am familiar with the story. In this case, the prodigal daughter, maybe. And Cherry Soda says, Dre is a whole ignorant NWA. He disgusts me. Oh. And Cortez says, or maybe Dr. Dre doesn't trust his daughter, like y'all said. We don't know the whole story. Something must have happened between the two. Like I said in my last comment, Dre helped pay his daughter's rent. Yeah, up until January 2020. So he did something, right? Last year of 2020. Yes, indeed. And Randy C., how are you? You say, after the first hug or kiss from a grandchild, your love will take over. Watch and see. Oh, absolutely. They say you like the kids and you love the grandkids. That's what I've heard. And let's see here. Where did my comment go? And Cherry Soda says, how can anyone watch theirs live on the harsh streets of LA? I mean, that's a good question. I couldn't, but I'm get to the end of these comments. I'm going to give you guys my opinion for sure.
Trust me, when you live in that environment, it is not that hard to become, hard,
Okay, your head be on swivel, right? And Sharon says the comments off the chain. Yes, indeed. But we love it. We up to the challenge. And Mr. Pirebrain says, and how you doing, by the way? He says, Dr. Dre paid his daughter a stipend until she was 37. She's a grown, independent woman. Yes, indeed. And Jacqueline says, cats are so regal. Yeah, I trust y'all on that one. I just never been a pet person at all. And let's see. Cherry Soul says, we think differently from dominant society. Where did that comment go? We think differently from dominant society. They take full care of theirs no matter what they do, good or bad. Yeah, I would say for the most part. And Mr. Pirebrain says, plus she had 4 children. Where are the fathers of her children? Yep, we want to know that too. And Unpopular says, like I said, his 2 kids with Nicole are above 18 and he did not kick them out. No, he seems like he really loves them, right? So I agree with you on that. And NIE says she probably burnt a lot of bridges. They have family issues. I'm minding my business on this one. I mean, I'm with you. Like we don't know the whole story, right? And Robert says, if I'm a multimillionaire, I would not be able to see my children on the streets knowing that I have the means to help her. Unpopular said he was taking care of her all of her life until last year because she never said that. Yeah, but it's kind of weird because on one hand, she said that she hadn't seen him for 17 years and then he left the mom when she was 5. But then he was helping her to 2020. So it's just kind of all over the place. So it's like, which is it? And then maybe it's all true at the same time, right? And Marty says, at the end of the day, Demetra, a cold, selfish man. Donovan, I would love for you to speak about the moratorium where Miss Cori Bush and a few others voted to get this eviction moratorium extended.
Right. Real quick, though, let me just speak on that real quick. The Congress did not vote on a damn thing. They went on vacation. They went on vacation. They didn't vote. Cory Bush didn't vote. Basically, the Supreme Court told them 30 days ago, you need to write a law to give the CDC the power to do moratoriums. Why did they wait? Joe Biden waited 2 days before he told Congress, y'all need to get on this. Congress said, we're going on vacation. They didn't vote. Joe Biden was so pissed and the heat was so bad that he was guilted into issuing executive orders for another 60 days. It's not a law. So guess what's going to happen? If you don't have money now, you're going to have money in 60 days? We'll see.
Well, another part of it, too, is a lot of people aren't talking about is that the federal government did issue the states about $46 billion, to which only $3 billion of that has been given out. And so somehow, some way, the rest of that money is sitting in the offices at the state level. And so that's where it needs to be addressed. Why are they holding on to this money? Are they trying to keep it in their tilt, for whatever reason? Are they, tricking the money off? Like, where is this money, right? So you kind of got to give the federal government some credit for that. They did unleash the money. Now it's the state's job to do that.
And a lot of the states extended the moratorium. The Congress, they left. Where's your congressional Black Congress? They were gone. But look, when those Mexicans were at the border, the Black folks were out there just crying. Ooh, the Mexicans are in cages. But let it be 7 million Americans, Black, white, Asian, whatever, gone. They went on vacation. They said, we don't give a damn. Like they didn't know this was going to happen.
Right. Yeah, people need to hold the states accountable if that's where the money is. And Rosalind, how you doing? Says, I wish I can get in touch with her. She moved to California and it's so expensive for her. She's obviously has a work ethic. Yeah, you're doing DoorDash, and I'll probably say you
look, my door is always open to a billionaire's daughter.
And that don't mean you're gonna get any of it. He's gonna be like, great, now I ain't gotta do it. She went to live with another baller. And Rosa said if she moved to South Dakota where I live, she would do well because rents are low and the wages are high enough to afford the rent. Yeah.
Oh my God, South Dakota. I was at Ellsworth Air Force Base. That place was cold as a rock when I went down there. We picked up some B-1 bombers and flew them to Guam. But that place, oh my God, it had a great underground Black community. In the wintertime, it was an underground Black community. You can get your groove on, but that was back in the day. So anyway.
Raza says it wouldn't have to be a permanent move, but it's very affordable here and it's possible for her to get back on her feet. Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of other places she could go. And unpopular, yeah, you may, he wasn't taking care of her instead of was. Okay. And Rosa, you also say food delivery companies aren't stable jobs. They're gigs. Where I live, there are actual jobs that pay very well with benefits. Maybe I need to go up there. I'm just kidding. And Terry says some of these hateful things been said about Dre are just rumors, in my opinion, because the only one complaining is his daughter. He has other children, and they are not putting him on blast as a colorist. And then Donovan, okay, I'll let you do that. And he say, wasn't taking care of what I meant, unpopular. Yeah, I figured that. And then Sunlight says, not true. The dominant society cuts off their children from trust funds all the time for not following the family program. That's why I said for the most part, because you're absolutely right. Let one of them bring a Black woman home, a Black man home. Oh, you're definitely getting cut off because I've seen it happen in my own family. And Atia says at Rosalind, that's what she needs to move out of LA. And Curtis, he says too often people who end up in dire circumstances because their families are all kinds of hell and burnt all their bridges. We don't know how she got into the situation. That is very true. Marty says Donovan, the moratorium has been extended from the CDC. It depends on how high each state is. So she did do something. She may be stunning, but I think a little bit more could be used. No,
wrong. I mean, I hate to say this. You're totally wrong. That's misinformation you're spreading. The Supreme Court ruled that's a law. The CDC had no power to issue moratoriums. That's why they said Congress needs to make a law to give them the power to do that. That's the whole issue. I mean,
yeah, it's on Congress. The Supreme Court said it, and Joe Biden said it, even though he dropped the ball at the last minute, and even the CDC. So it is on Congress. So back to these comments really quick. And Sharon says, yes, they did vacation before the people, Donovan. Yeah, and it was already a scheduled vacation, but they left nevertheless, right? And Steve, how you doing? He says Joe Biden is full of shit. He don't care about niggas. Well, we already knew that, right? But he's showing it more and more every day. And Sharon says, yes, Demetra holding the money or stole most of it. Yeah, like where is the money?
Quit stealing the money.
Right. And Terry says that's not true. They disown their children left and right. Yeah, like I said, let them bring somebody that don't look like them home. And let's see here. Terry, so it says Dre sucks. And Randy, and he says, how many vacations do they get a year? I think it's like 3 or 4 or something like that.
There's 3 sessions of Congress that go into session. So they go home in the summer, in the winter, and in the spring. But then they could, like some guys be leaving, going down to Bermuda with their side pieces and missing votes and stuff. So you got to really count all that. But when it's like mandatory voting and stuff, remember that time when Dick Cheney was in Europe and there was a vote and he had to come and break the tie? When it's mandatory stuff to get their agenda through, they do it. So yeah, but they have 3 mandatory sessions that they go on break.
I'm Joy. How you doing? He says, well, my uncle's homeless and he chooses to be. Yeah, I mean, some people choose to be. And you also say, yes, she for sure did some effed up stuff. That's why she's in that situation. I mean, we just don't know. And like his lawyer told her, well, he was bad mouthing your daddy in the media. So that, could be it too. Sharon says, Donovan, how old are you? My oldest daughter is a medical director and single. She's 38. Uh-oh.
No, her daughter's a medical doctor. My number's 976.
I'm looking for my glasses.
Yeah, put your glasses on.
I don't see
976-555.
I don't see my glasses.
Age ain't nothing but, and I'm not R. Kelly. So, hey, she's 38. I'm good.
I hope not. And Unpopular says his son spoke and said that his father doesn't give him anything too. Okay, so there's 2 children out there. And Anais says they are trying to hang Governor Cuomo. Oh my God, what's next for New York? We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And that brings up a good question. Tune in tomorrow, you guys, seriously. Because why is it that you can have a president that could grab him by the pussy and he still becomes president? This guy is basically doing the same thing. Oh, we got to get rid of him. How dare he? Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the hypocrisy is Joe Biden asking him that, saying that he should resign. It's like,
didn't Joe Biden accused of doing certain things similar to what this man did? I think so.
And Joy says she needs to be applying for an EDD and child tax credit. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Hello, Chocolate Girl. How are you?
Especially here in California.
Oh, yeah, she says, correction, my oldest daughter is a medical doctor. I read that wrong. My glasses are in the room. And let's see here. Okay, so Moni says she's going up for $3,000. Ladies, if you're new to this, we have a bid for Donovan. He is on the auction block. I am auctioning him off to the highest bidder. So right now, Moni is throwing up $3,000. Wow. I get a cut of that too. What is the manager's fee, like 65% or something?
Well, no, that's if I was a sports athlete, but as a regular media athlete, you get, the regular 10.
Then y'all need to come up with your coins, okay? And Atia says, if we removed all the what ifs and answers, should a father help his daughter? I swear I'm gonna get to y'all comments before I give my opinion. And Unpopular says, so she's not the only one. The truth is that he did not take care of her after he split from her mother. I mean, that could be the case, but did he pay child support? I don't know, right? And Terry says, it's why I stopped swirling for good. Personal experience. Okay.
And you were swirling oh man. You were touched by the monster.
Stop it.
No, that's not
Cherry Soda says,
why should she be happy?
Says, well, who's dumb enough not to pay their rent? Oh, there's a lot of people. And both of them, say, cool, we don't know what the situation is. And Frank says, what about mandate the jab in New York and Disneyland for their employees? Mark of the Beast. Y'all know I really want to talk about that.
We're going to do it tomorrow because Demetra was talking about this when the pandemic first broke out.
Well, I would like to talk about it, but because the way the tube is taking down people's channels for talking about that kind of stuff, it's just kind of touch and go,
But I remember you were saying that that's what it was going to come to.
Oh yeah,
in the beginning.
Oh, for sure. Come on now, Demetra. That's what they call me, Nostradamus. All right. So where did I leave off? And
you're at Cherry Soda.
Okay, because I'm not going to read the replies. And he says, Tahari, we don't know the daughter's story. She could be a survivor of abuse. She could have emotional difficulties. We just don't know. You're absolutely right. And Cortez says, damn, Donovan, my mother is older than you. She is the youngest of 8 kids.
Well,
And
I'm old, but I ain't that old. Damn.
the rabbit is getting old, y'all. The rabbit is getting old. And Atia says, Dr. Dre is no angel, whether or not he's a changed man. He was a part of NWA. NWA promoted a culture of useless behavior, murder, degrading women, among other things.
Wait a minute. I just want to say this, Atia. I agree with you. Your statement is spot on. But in order to do all that, how many women partook in that behavior as well?
Frank says, Donovan, you're getting hooked up. And let's see here. I'm just going to go through some of these other comments. And you also say Frank Biden is on tape groping. Well, you know, they say that it's the same situation with Cuomo, but why should he be special? And let's see here. Rosa says, it is cold here, but I'd rather bundle up in the winter for a few years to get my feet on my feet and to save money. That's why I'm here. Than be homeless. It really comes down to how bad do you want it rather?
Yeah, a lot. You know, when I was stationed in Alaska, back when Alaska was given the stipend or the dividend from the oil reserves, I mean, there was a whole bunch of, young Black women that would go up there with their kids. Because if you had, like, let's say 4 kids back in the 90s, that was $4,000 per child, So, a lot of people were making money doing that. So, yeah, I hear you.
Yes, indeed. And let's see. I won't read the replies. And how popular. He wants to know, Terry, why did you stop swirling? And Randy, he says, Demetra, you need at least 85%. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I think I need 85% of that. And Rosa says, oops.
That's pimping. That's illegal.
Mr. Piebrain says they want to get rid of Cuomo because he said they would come to your house and drag you to force you to get the jab. Oh my God. And Atia says, Dr. Dre has a price. They, powers that be, paid the price and they own him. He does what they say. That could be possible too. And Kara, how you doing? He says, I think those are his kids with his first wife. He never really dealt with them after the breakup. His wife ended up with his old boss. Okay, so now we getting some more what's really going on here.
Yeah, I was under the impression he never really married that girl because he was like, when he got with the mother of this girl, they were basically teenagers, in their early 20s, late teens, early 20s. So he never really married her. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend, had kids.
And NIU says, just call it the V. YouTube will not block you for that. Okay. All right. I think about saying that way. And Steve says, I call you Big Sister Demetra. F what they say. Okay. And Unpopular says he didn't marry Lisa Johnson. Okay. And Terry says, Donovan, and that 976 number, you telling your age, laugh out loud.
Yes. Miss Cleo. Yes. 976. As a matter of fact, I think that was an NWA Easy-E thing when he said, yes, my number's, yeah, we want easy.
Yeah.
976.
Not even racked up his mama's phone bill calling that number too. And Sharon says, my oldest daughter is a penny pincher, Donovan, and already rich, didn't pay for school nor any of her cars, expensive apartments. She also teaches school online and assists in grand giveaways. Okay, so she's got it going on.
Oh, well, have her hit my page, Donovan City.
Steve says, Andrew, white privilege ran out, laugh out loud. He has any white privilege. So you're talking about Cuomo?
Yeah, and did you guys notice his brother didn't mention anything on his newscast?
What would you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. I'm gonna see.
Wait, but you're supposed to report the news.
I'm not gonna report that news because y'all ain't gonna like it the way I report it. Because I'm gonna be like, you know what? It's some bull. Y'all just out to get my brother. Y'all know he didn't do all of that to you. See, that would be my newscast. Okay, they'd be like, this is your last.
Go to commercial.
Right? Okay. Y'all ain't gonna be lying on my damn brother. And he says Alaska give a monthly stimulus during the pandemic, I thought. And don't they give like money every year to all of their residents?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the oil stimulus. But they had stopped it for a minute. I don't know if they started it back up, but they had stopped it for a while.
And Terry says, long time ago, baby, long before it was a thing called swirling. Laugh out loud. I'm old too. Okay, well, hey. And Frank says, that's why they want to get rid of Cuomo. Hey, Jonelle, man, how much longer you got? How much longer are you in Facebook jail? I just got out. I'm fresh out. Hopefully I can stay that way. And Terry says, denials, brother Donovan. And Moni, you say, all right, Donovan, you getting a lot of flirtation. What's up with the higher is better goes up for you, I think. Demetra, in this hot sun, I hope you keep lots of sunscreen. I don't even be outside like that.
Did you guys notice her tan on her shoulder there?
That's from Costa Rica. Was that 3 weeks ago? I ain't really been outside. Houston ain't got no sun. It's like brief, right? By the time I think about going out there, it's like, sucker. So, yeah. And then Steve says, my brother did like Jimmy Swaggart. He just watched the woman perform. Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't see any more comments. I'm gonna give y'all my opinion, I guess, whatever it's worth. I do see some more comments, but I will give you my. So okay, this is the deal. Dr. Dre's daughter is 38 years old, says that he has not helped her. She is sometimes homeless, living in her car. She's doing DoorDash. She's paying $2,300 for a rental car for 3 weeks. She's only paid 1 week. Her kids are living. She got 4 kids, 16 through 3. They're living with family members and friends here and there. And she said the last time he helped her was in 2020, January, helped her with her apartment and all of that. I'm mixed on this one, y'all. I'm mixed because, for one, we got to know the whole story, right? It's easy for her to get out there and say, oh my God, he's not helping me, all of that. But I want to know, why is he not helping you? Has he helped you before? And to the tune, how much has he helped you, right? And the other part is, I just feel like, I think it's Terry. Yeah, Terry, she's like, how much are you really supposed to help your children? Bill Gates, I remember he said a long time ago, he was giving his children $10 million a piece. Now, at the time, he was the richest man in the world, or damn near. And people gave him a hard time. Oh, you're only going to give them 10 million. He said that was 10 million more than I had. And if they can't make it do what it do with 10 million, then they really don't want to do anything, right? And so I just feel like at some point in time, like, we have to own our stuff. We're not talking about a 28-year-old or an 18-year-old. Sometime in between your 16-year-old and your 3-year-old, I don't know how many fathers that she has. If you knew you were struggling or you didn't have a career or something else to sustain yourself, these are just questions I want to know. Why did you keep making kids? Where are the father of the children? And so, should he help his daughter? On the surface, yes, he should help his daughter. But there's also something to be said about you running your damn mouth about my business, because you know that you were not on your feet, and then you run to the media and talk bad about me, and I'm supposed to be all right with that. So it's like, at what point in time does this 38-year-old woman become a woman? Like, is money gonna fix that? Yeah, it'll probably temporarily fix that, but I can't remember who it was that said it, but yeah, there's so many other things that she probably needs. And so I get it. Dre has some issues. He's abusive. He's not a good guy. Just from what we've heard, he's not a good dude, especially when it comes to women. But should he be crucified for not continuing to help? And I say continuing because she's admitted that he's helped her. So it's not like, he's never helped her. So should he be demonized for not continuing to help her, even though she's admitted that she's tricking off $2,300 for a rental car? How many of us have $2,300 to rent a car for 3 weeks? But all of us put together, I mean, I'm sure we got it, but it's not financially smart to do something like that. And so should he be demonized for not just completely just taking care of everything? So again, has he helped her, and has she helped herself? And is she willing to give the kids to the father? Because they're still minors. If the fathers want the kids, is she willing to say, listen, I got it bad right now. I don't want my kids sleeping on people's couches, this, that, and the other. So can you take the kids? Is she getting child support? Like, there's so many other questions. Now, listen, my daddy is 77 years old. And my dad, I'm telling y'all, I was in a house fire and I lost everything I had, including my truck. Now, of course, I had insurance, but that ain't the issue. And I made a joke and I said to my dad, man, I always said if I went homeless, I would sleep in my truck. And he says, oh, hell no. I would collect cans every day if I had to make sure you had a place to stay. So that's what a father, I think, initially would do. But I know my father, too, that if I was not doing my part, I think he would hold me accountable. So I think there's more questions than there are answers. Like, should he be demonized for not helping her? And how much did he already help her? And how much did she really help herself? I'm not judging. I'm just asking.
I have a question. Doesn't these fathers have brothers and sisters and mamas and daddies? So you mean to tell me out of all those resources that she has, nobody wants to chip in and help her? She's going to put all the onus on her father, who didn't get the nut to make the kids in the first place?
And thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that for becoming a member. Y'all can become a member of the channel if you like. Just go on the front page or something like that, and you can see options, or I think on here. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna get to y'all comments here, but I mean, that's just kind of how I see it. Like, I mean, there's a lot of questions that we really just don't have the answers to.
Yeah, 50 Cent's, Mr. Pirate Brain said 50 Cent's son went to the press to drag him, so 50 Cent cut him off.
So, I mean, at some point in time, like, when do you become accountable for the things you do and say? I don't know. And Cortez says, of course, he's not going to say anything about his brother. He may be just like his brother. Okay. And Aida says, how can I DM you, Demetra? I think either I'll put it up here. I'm on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. Just go on Facebook and DM her on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, the same name, Demetra K. You'll see me. I'll pop up. And Tahiri says, well, if Cuomo goes down, look for another prominent black male to be accused. I don't know, you talking about like the did Bill Cosby? Yeah, I don't think he'll go down. I think he's going to stay. Terry says, that was the jam. I love what Easy did with that old Bootsy joint. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we want Easy. That was the jam. Written by MC Ren and the DOC.
Yep. And Moni says, I see it's a deep tan line, kind of matches mine, but thank God we have a hot patches, and then we have our cold patches. Do extra moisturizing. Treat yourself to some body massages, Demetra. I like that. I think I will.
Al's not going to have it.
Leather and luxury cars. Says, to me, there's zero excuses not to help your children. You know, that I would tell you I would help my daughter. I would help her, but I got to put that butt on there. And Donovan, to tell you, I love my daughter. My daughter is 28 and she is spoiled to half the death. So there's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
But see, the difference is you love your child. You're not in love with your child. Yeah, there's a big difference, and a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, I love my child. I go to war for my child. Well, if your child murdered somebody and they're guilty, why would you do that?
Some people do, though.
I know. You know, that's what I'm saying. We got it messed up. Like, a lot of people think, oh, I'm worth $800,000. No, you're in debt $800,000. Worth is what you have in the bank. But it's like we just got it wired totally wrong. Demetra, you love your daughter. You're not in love with your daughter. And your daughter is in a position to where she can go and do what she wants to do. And if she needed help, you are willing to help her because she put herself in a position to where, hey, she's going to do most of the lifting.
Yep.
Some of y'all got a 28-year-old dude that you bought a PlayStation for that's almost $1,000 sitting on your couch, and you're wondering, you can't make your man a meal, but you got to rush home to make your child a meal. Think about that.
Yeah, okay. And you know, my father, like I said, he loves me. I love my child, but my father always says, I ain't gonna help you do nothing. So if you sitting around doing nothing, I can't help you do that. You're on your own. Hey, Roy, how you doing? And Steve says, I smell some shit about this phony show. I don't think Dre would do that. Or you mean the pony show? Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot to be, and there's just a lot of questions that are unanswered, right? And maybe Wendy or somebody will have her on. I don't know. And Marty says, I don't like that we're going to have 92 on Monday, 103 on Tuesday, and that makes it real hot and wearing your mask. And with this vibrant, he says, but I know what you meant. He says coming back is going to be worse. You know, people don't, and it cut off. And Leather.
Yes. This whole week we've been having a heat veil over the United States. It's 102 right now where I live.
It's only 80 something here. It rains, so thank God. And Leather Luxury Cars says if you have all that damn money and more coming in, by the second he can go on and buy her a house and a new Chevy. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I'd be like, here, it's going to get you a house for the kids and the car and, you know, maybe a couple bucks to help you maintain it for a couple of months and then, you know, make it do what it do.
But think about this. I'm talking from a man's perspective. If I had daughters, this is what I would think. I'm not going to buy you a house so that, you know, I'm taking care of you, your man, and your kids. Because let's face it, a lot of us do bring our significant other in there. And if I'm going to provide a house for you, it's for you and your kids, not for you, your man, and your kids.
But I just think if you're going to do it, you can't get wrapped up into who she going to have in there because she's got 4 kids. I don't know if
No, I understand that. I'm saying me and men that are like me.
Yeah, but I'm saying she's got 4 kids. I don't know if they're by the same guy, but like I said, I mean, you know, where are they? You know, why ain't you going to the media on them? Because I know that my daughter and I, our father and I, we had some rock'em sock'ems, okay? But I don't think he would see me homeless. And I wouldn't see, matter of fact, there was a time he didn't have a place to stay. And guess where he was? On my couch. And when we wasn't together, he was down on his luck again. He was on my mama's couch. Because I had a man. He couldn't be on my couch then. But the point that I'm making is we didn't see him homeless.
Right. I mean, you have children with this person. I mean, golly.
Yeah. So there you have it. And Unpopular says, once again, I think he never was there after leaving Lisa Johnson. And maybe he wasn't, but did he not pay child support? I don't know. I mean, just to kind of find it hard to believe that he had money and they weren't making him pay any child support.
See, and Unpopular, and that's another thing. The story is kind of convoluted because she says he did help her, then he didn't help her. It's like, wait a minute, I'm only supposed to help you when it's convenient for you?
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know, maybe the story is just not being told right from what I was reading it, but Donovan read it the same way, so I don't know. And Atia, he says 10 million, of course, the answer would be no, but this clearly isn't the case. And Mr. Pybrain says Dre's daughter is shaming him. He doesn't owe her a thing. So we have, you know, some mixed opinions here. And Unpopular says he should have set his kids up for success. Yeah.
How do you set a child up for success that has their own dreams? If I say, here's a business, do this, 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 and that. Matter of fact, we've done that several times. Walter comes on the show. Walter comes and says, this is what you need to do to be like Kanye. Here's the book. Nobody takes that advice because they want to do their own thing. So how do you set a person up for success if they don't want it?
And what did her mother do to help do that? You know, because it takes 2 to tango. So I'm just asking some questions. And WFN, I'm sorry, how you doing? He says nowadays our women take no responsibility and we have to stop that. Start there and keep it there. Okay, now. Unpopular says because the 20 and 24 are living comfortably. So that's the kids that he has with Nicole. And Mon says at the end of the day, even if they didn't get along and he had enough money, that he cannot take it with him. So why not just spend a little and get her a little small house and maybe in a different state? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And Natural Africanism, how are you? And you say, where'd it go? It skipped up.
Yeah, he says, what's going on? What it do?
What it do? And again, thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. And Mona says he can't take all that money with him. Okay, says, why not help his daughter? But these people are demonic. They they're so, I think he meant to Satan itself, and he's going to pay for it. Let's be clear, evil mean why.
But again, he earned that money. He worked for that money. So Moni, you know, like I said, I love your comments and criticisms and stuff. But okay, so basically you're saying I work for all my money. I have an obligation to take care of my cousin, my kids, my mama, everybody else, but I'm the one doing all the work.
Right.
Where's the fairness there?
And to hire, you say, perhaps she has abandonment issues, perhaps. And Leather and Luxury Cars, you say, teach her how to be independent and give her certain amounts monthly until she is responsible. That's a good idea as well.
But isn't that teaching somebody how to fish or giving them fish. Because I think, and it's really prevalent in our community, give them the Jordans, give them the Jordans. Now you got kids thinking I can wear nothing but $300 shoes, this, that, and they don't have any money. You see what I'm saying? Because you're giving it to them. But if you say, this is what you need to do, go work for it. I noticed that people that work for their shit aren't quick to spend it so fast.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of answers the questions that aren't answered. And Atiya says, maybe this is a cycle, people reaping what they sow, a family getting an opportunity to fix what is broken. That could be the case too. And Mr. Pie Brain says 50, he says, son, okay, went to the press and dragged him. So 50 son cut him off too. Yeah, it was very ugly public, beef between the both of them. And thank you, Sharon. We love you being here as well. And Terry says, exactly. She admitted he helped her just last year. So which is it? Terry says she can buy a hoopty for that much. Hell yeah. You ain't got to have no big giant SUV, And Frank says white men don't go down for sexual crimes. That's why I said I think he'll be fine. I just think it's all, theater at this moment. Oh, he's got to resign. That's not right. Believe all women,
Well, his secretary, what is that? Who's the next in line? The lieutenant governor is a white woman. They're talking about she's getting ready.
And there's your smoking gun, ladies and gentlemen. Cortez has got a man at home eating your kids' fruit snacks. You crazy. Sharon says, yes, Donovan, and talk back with much disrespect. And Mr. Pybrain says, Dre wanted to stop enabling his daughter. I know Frank Cortez is crazy. And Sharon says, my mother did it until she was broke. Guess what? She wanted me to pick up her bills. I said, no. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So when do you say, okay, now the rest has got to be on you. I've done so much for you, child. When are you going to start saying, okay, now I'm going to make it do what it do? You know what I mean?
Isn't it in the animal kingdom, the albatross, they push the chick out of the nest, and if he flies, he flies. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yes, indeed. Popular says she never gave a date or timeline when he helped. And Steve says, Demetra, you do have some big ass hands. I don't think he tried you. Laugh out loud. His mama didn't raise a fool. I got long fingers. I mean, my hands may be big, but I do have long fingers. Anyway. Tahir says, first, be a present in your child's life. Yes,
well,
start there.
I agree with that. And that would be great in a perfect world. But I'm going to speak to the men, because a lot of us, we aren't present in our child's life. But if you're not going to be a presence in your child's life, be financially in your child's life. Be financially in your child's life to make sure that child is eating, has its health care, and whatever else. Yeah, they would love to have you there. That's really great, important. But if you're not going to be there, be a man and be financially there supporting your child. These are just the facts that we live in today, ladies. I'm sorry, but that you can't make a man be a father if he doesn't want to. But he should be financially responsible.
And yes, WFN, you say responsibility. And Atiya says you set them up for success by getting to them young. Success is subjective. I agree. Yeah, I mean, can't wait till they're 18 and say, okay, listen up. I mean, you can, but it's better off when they're younger. And Rosalind, you say, if I were Dre, I'd buy a modest house or duplex for cash and let LaTanya live there rent-free until the kids are grown, as long as she works and pays the property tax. Kids shouldn't suffer because of mom. So that is a good point and a good strategy as well.
Yeah, you know what? Even better strategy. Buy the house and make her pay rent to you. That way it builds her responsibility.
That's what she said. Yeah. And Unpopular says, so isn't that the same thing as having a college fund? You shouldn't put money aside for them when they are young. Go on YouTube and look at the video they made. They were trying to start a rap career. So when you say they, you're talking about LaTanya and her sisters. He says they were living horribly. Okay. And Janelle says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah. I mean, you just can't. Donovan and his other cats. And Unpopular says, so should he cut off the kids he has with Nicole? Well, he ain't going to do that, right? I mean, I think there is something to him, feeling more about those children. And I don't know, maybe because he was in their lives more, because it sounds like what the oldest one is 24, and they were together about that long or so, I guess, give or take. So I don't know. But he ain't gonna cut them kids off. He just not. And I will say this: I've seen it myself personally, not in my situation, but other people who have kids with a black woman, and then they go and have kids with a white woman. And those kids with the white woman, they don't want for nothing. They are the apple of everybody's eye. But the kids that are all black, they kind of do lack the.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you talking from experience? Because
no.
Okay.
No. We're not gonna name names on here.
No, I'm just saying because yes and no, but I have noticed that too, though. In a lot of families that are mixed families or whatever, it seems like the lighter skinned kids always get more shine. Can I say that?
Yes, indeed. And WFN says start holding the women accountable for their actions. Yeah, I mean, you can't talk about him and not talk about the mama. Like,
wait, what? Holding black women accountable? Who said that? Wait, who said that? Holding a black woman accountable in America in the modern day. Good luck.
Right. If you know what's good for you, I'm just playing. I'm kidding. Abdallah, how you doing? Long time no see. He says greetings to all from Gambia, West Africa. Yes, indeed. And Kubler, how you doing? He says, after what age does the parent's obligation stop? I want to know that too. When do I get to say, okay, I've done what I'm going to do? And not necessarily just in Dr. Dre's case, but just in general, right? And before you say, okay, fly the coop now, the nest or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah. How many stories do we have in movies where, the kid gets into gangs, he gets locked up, he's asking mama to put the house up for sale, and he's still in the streets and doing all that other stuff. We just lose our wealth in doing that. When does it stop? Oh, my baby, I got to go get him out. The guy's 33 years old and he's living a lifestyle that, you know what I mean? And now mama losing all her wealth. Or what was that? South Central. Remember the grandparents and Trey? The grandparents that take care of the kid, and the kid's in the street, and the grandfather was like, you can't stay here no more.
Right. And Unpopular says, what if her mother didn't have him on child support yet? I mean, that's an answered question we don't know either. And Pam says, I can't even get my son to take $40 from me. He doesn't think that he has to get paid to do his part. It's not a payment for doing his part. It's a gift because I want him to have it. And that's an awesome situation to be in. Like, no, mom, I don't need it. No, I'm good. I do it for free.
Right. But always, I think you should teach him to have money in his pocket, especially as a black man, because when he's used to having money in his pocket, he's going to have money in his pocket.
Well, depending on how old her son is, right? And Sharon says, for real, Donovan. And Kubler, you say there's a non-profit organization for every trouble and problem person imaginable. Help is only a program array. That is a very good point. Yeah, I mean, how many of those places did she go to before she went to her father? Now, on the surface, like I said, he should help her, but then what's underneath the surface, right? And Tahira says, I've seen regular white men and black men giving down payments and even homes to their daughters. Mm-hmm. Sarah says, JSU said that in 2916, when my second daughter in there or is there? Or did you mean 2016? Is that what you meant? 2016, maybe? And then Pablo says, and clearly he was not there financially there. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe
he was, and then she says he wasn't. I just don't get it. And in the 90s, he's making all that money, and child support was on their come up for a lot of black women. I find it hard to believe he wasn't paying child support.
Did you say on the come up? Was it on the come up?
Sisters were on the come up in the 90s. There was no joke. Y'all were bringing brothers into the courts without fail in the 90s.
Did you say to come up?
That was the new come up. That was the new sister come up, and they're still doing it.
child support was fashionable in the 90s.
Yeah, they were bringing them in because that's when they had under the Clinton, the Democratic thought they had redone the child support laws. So sisters were like, oh shit, girl, we gonna get paid. Let's go get this check. That was the come up in the 90s. They had revamped the whole child support system, and they were bringing in brothers left and right and locking Negroes up, taking their driver's licenses. I mean, getting them fired from their jobs. So much for the correction. Y'all know what y'all did.
I have y'all my ass. Unpopular says, and clearly he was not there. Okay, so financially there. And says,
and by the way, Demetra X had her on child support. So yes, one for the brothers. Yes.
But y'all know the story. If y'all follow me long enough, yeah, he had me on child support, but ask me how much he got. Not 1 cent.
Lock her up. Lock her up.
Because he was lying and it was a felony what he did to me. Just straight up lying. And guess what they did though? They gave me all my money back. Okay, he lucky he ain't in jail or in hell.
Wait a minute. How do you get your money back? And they've got thousands of cases of brothers that were deemed not the father, and yet he can't get his money back.
Because every 2 weeks, I had my black ass at the DA pleading my case with all my documents that I was not no absentee parent and that I want him locked up for lying on me and embarrassing me, having the HR people up in my business. They probably was running around the job talking about she a deadbeat mama and stuff. So that, more than the money, what was important to me was my reputation. Like, so yeah, they ran it a whole year. I would have my ass up there. And the lady finally tapped out and says, okay, you know what? I mean, she couldn't deny it. I mean, I brought my lease, the school, paperwork, where the address where she was with me and all of that. And she said, okay. And they gave me my money back.
That's not it. That's not it. Your mama went up there, Brenda, and said, this is what's going to happen.
No, she actually didn't. But my dad said, let me know if he collect $1 dime. I said, I sure will, Daddy. And he says, Phyllis Hyman had big hands and feet. She was still sexy. Stay sexy, Demetra. Yeah, I mean, shoot, big hands, more to slap you with. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. I do got long fingers, though. They really long. And Unpopular says, after he left Lisa. And I wouldn't mind hearing her side of the story, since it's out there, right? What does the ex-girlfriend or wife or whoever she was to him, what does she have to say? Kevin, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, hello, fam. I genuinely believe that you guys would help me by discussing the merits or demerits of the Venus Project model for Africans born in America, please. Well, I'd have to do my research on that one, brother, because I'm not really sure what that is exactly. All right, so let me go ahead and get to the rest of these comments so we can get on out of here. And I'm going to skip past the replies. And Sharon says, enroll at JSU. Birds leave the nest. They supposed to eventually, right? And I'm probably saying, yes, the sisters. And Cortez says, wow, Donovan, you and these cats. I'm telling you, he got a lot of them. That is a Catmandu right there. Donovan of Catmandu. And that's the third cat I'm imagining. Just this. I want to ask a question, but how you going to get some and you got some already? I'm just... I just had to ask. And
as long as I'm surrounded by it, I'm good.
But you want the other kind. The kind that doesn't have so much fur on it. Maybe a little fur, but not that much fur. And Unpopular says, so he's being biased. You talking about Donovan? Always. And Sunlight says, at Demetra in my church voice, wow. And Tyree says, tell the truth to shame the devil. And no, for real, y'all. I wasn't a deadbeat mom at all. And WFN, he said, it sounds like this girl has been weaponized. She could have been, maybe, And Atia says, it's foolish to put your house up and etc. I don't see that as an obligation. This idea is that you shape your child so they know how the game goes. They don't exhaust you as a parent. Yeah, that's not, I mean, you went through all of that your whole life raising the kids to let them be a burden on you after you've given them the tools they need to be successful. That's not how it should work, right? And Mark's Biz 33, how you doing? He says, menace to society. And WFN, you say she had him on child support, $20,000 a month. Okay, well now see we getting down to the nitty-gritty. So somebody was getting some money. I don't know. I just don't see him not giving her any money, especially when he had money, right? I don't know. I'm just,
especially in the 90s, California wasn't playing that stuff.
Well, she's 38, so what, 80s, roughly 80s, yeah. So I don't know. And then she got some younger sisters, so yeah. And one who cares, she says he should. And Atia says those social programs are so stretched. Good luck with getting timely assistance. Yeah, especially nowadays during a pandemic. You also say he paid child support to the mother, so he wasn't a deadbeat. And I mean, $20,000 is a lot of money. You know, I mean, even today it is a month. I'm just saying. And Unpopular says, even if she had him on child support, that doesn't mean Lisa was doing right by her 3 daughters with Dre. So that's exactly right. I mean, you got to bring the mama into the equation as well, right? And Kevin says, and I believe that we must recognize that it isn't simply giving our child economic guidance. Africans born in America will need a serious economic paradigm shift, and it will be hard. The European born in America has a system designed for their race. Must not Africans born in America do the same? Good question. And Atia, you say he paid child support to the mother, not her. They need to live off that money. That's true.
Well, if the mama tricked it off like a lot of moms do, why do you think guys that are paying child support get upset? Because when we want an audit, and you don't even know audit, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about what I do with the money. But you see your kids in the t-shirt, khakis, and some Chuck Taylors, but the mom's got the nails, the hair, and the weave done, but yet she's living with her sister or in a situation to where you're like, wait a minute, you're not getting child support from this father, but you're using my money for my child, for another child, and all this other stuff. That's what we're saying. The game is totally messed up. So we don't know what the mother did with that money. We have no idea.
I just always, when I see, and I'm not saying there's no mothers that are doing that, but when I hear that argument, oh, well, she got the weaves and the nails and all of that, I'm like, come on, bruh. You paying $50 a month. You think she doing all of that?
No, exactly. No, but I'm talking about the people that are paying that kind of money. You know what I mean? I mean, because look, I could even talk for myself. My oldest son's mother. How do you brainwash my son to think that I wasn't paying any child support at all, and yet I'm in the military and an officer? How do you do that? And then she wonders why I would like to just put her 6 feet under the ground.
I just hope you never see her. I really do, because I believe you would. Yeah, we'd be reading about Donovan.
I mean, these things happen. They literally do. My son, I know we got to go. My son, even though I wasn't there, but I wasn't there because I was in the military, and I'm in the Middle East fighting for your damn freedoms, right? It ain't like I wanted to go there. I went. I come back. My son is totally brainwashed. Like I didn't do a damn thing for him. And I'm just like shocked. I am just shocked. And when he found out the truth and I had to show him the truth, his mind was blown. He's still pissed off at his mom to this very day. Doesn't know how to come at me because he's brainwashed. But a lot of women do that. They do.
And Donovan was paying like he was Dr. Dre. They thought they did have Dr. Dre up in there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not easy. It's not me. I'm not Dre. True story. I had to fly down from Alaska. You guys, this is a true story. I went to the child support on Iowa Street. You know the child support office on Iowa Street?
I know where it's at.
Couldn't get any assistance. I literally broke the place up. And I was almost arrested. It wasn't for the fact that I was in the military and the police officers that came. They were like, hey, blah, 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 blah. We understand, because this woman was getting default judgments against me while I'm overseas. So she was getting raises against me where I couldn't respond. That's how much of the game the child support system is here in California.
Yes, indeed. And Sharon says, yes, they did. And don't ask for assistance. Mandatory to give up the day no matter what. And Terry says, we're putting Donovan on restriction. You go, sis. That's right. And Sharon says, in the 90s, give the dad up no matter what. Yeah, see, before that, you can say, I don't know. It was a one night stand. I don't know the daddy. And then they change. It's like, well, you better find somebody, which is how, unfortunately, a lot of dudes who was like, I never even met that lady. They got on the hook for child support because they had to say somebody was the daddy to get the money. So evil, and diabolical. And Tahiri says, if the mother eventually married, the husband may not have wanted her to accept the child support he was probably like $20,000. $20,000.
That's a vacation.
Right. And Janelle says, it only shows majority with money don't truly understand what wealth is and why they have no true furtherance. Your children is greater than your income. Word to the wise. Absolutely. And Kubler, you say, where'd it go? He says, preach, Donovan. Donovan president 2024 run on abolish the child support system, highest male turnout in voting history. You ain't lying.
Yes. Look, all that Black Lives Matter stuff, you're out there burning the city down. Go to the child support offices. That should be one of the first places you should go. Destroy those records.
It's like, no, but we got a database, okay?
Find the servers. Destroy the servers.
Terry says, I don't know about completely abolishing the child support system. Sadly, there are deadbeat parents who would do absolutely nothing for if not for child support. It should be a last resort only for deadbeats. I agree.
And historically, do you know the biggest deadbeat in the United States? It's a white man, believe it or not.
The slave master, okay? He's the OG deadbeat. Yes, indeed. And Tahiri says stories are rampant about women abusing the child support system. Yes. And Atia says the game is messed up. And Cortez says, how old are your kids, Donovan, if you don't mind me asking?
I got a 28-year-old and a 23-year-old. Be 29 and then 24 coming up.
So that's how old Donovan is. And Tahiri says, don't let a man have another child. Then there's a request for child support increase. Some women can be trifling. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I have another child. She's getting increases. What am I supposed to do? You know, I just got to get it. My whole military career, I always worked a second job.
Sure did. And Terry says, true, but don't punish those of us who are already struggling after divorce as it is. It's hard enough to leave an abusive spouse to totally absolve him of any responsibility of child rearing abuse. Child rearing is abuse.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, every man who brings a child in this world should financially support that child. That's the least that they can do. Financially support the child. I'm all for it. That's why I say, my name is Ike. I am the man. Oh, I ran over your flowers. Here, Mom. Where did you say Demetra went? See, and you get all that. See?
Sharon, you say some mothers are awful. And the Pioneer, hey, how you doing? You showed up. Says, good afternoon. Sorry I'm late. I hope I didn't miss too much. Yeah, we about to get out of here. But you know what? You
can always do the replay.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. So there you go. And Terry says, that's crazy. I hate hearing these abuses in the child support system. And Unpopular says, so that's exactly why he should have been more involved in her sister's lives directly instead of only thinking about Nicole and his career at the time. I agree with you. And Terry says, remember when they started picking dudes out of phone books? Yeah, tell me.
See? So everybody knows that what was going on. Everybody knows about it because you either had a brother, a cousin, a husband that was going through some kind of child support issue.
Yep, I've heard them myself. I've heard them. I'm like, what? And you also say, I know that's right. And then TA says, in a capitalistic system, people be on the come up. It's horrible. So many have suffered relationships irreparable. Absolutely. And Brother Sammy says, I paid child support 10 years and I was married. I didn't worry about how she spent the money. Wasn't going to let it upset me. I still bought my children what they needed. Yep.
No, absolutely. See, now remember, usually when we have our kids, we're young and immature. At my first son, go for a baby. Guys come back from war. We want to just, do what we got to do. Your baby's a go for a baby, so don't even try it. So So, but see, I knew when I matured my second child, I didn't care where the money went, whatever it was, because I wanted to be financially responsible and do what I have to do in regards to my child. But, let's just be honest. Our first child, we're young, you're kind of in a situation, you're like, hey, whatever. I don't know the system. Now I know the system and I do what I got to do. And I made sure I was fair. And because of the fact I want to live a certain way, I knew I didn't want to bring any more children into the world. I would like to now, but I'm a little too old.
Okay, Methuselah. You little too old. I think you ain't putting the emphasis on it that it really needs, okay? And Terry says, I know you're preaching to the choir, laugh out loud. And Frank says, Donovan clowning. The Pioneer says, I don't blame Dre's daughter for trying to get as much money from her father as she can. If I had a billionaire father, I wouldn't leave the house to begin with. Laugh out loud. And Sharon says, the white man is the biggest deadbeat. Yeah, he is. Let's tell the truth, right? And Atia says, Donovan looks about 30 years old.
Oh,
it's the
filter.
Much. It's the filter. And Cortez says, Donovan, you have grown kids. Yeah, they grown kids. And Brother Samuel says, he says, so she's there, some like really deadbeats. And I can't, maybe Donovan will help me unjumble it. He's good at that. And Tanaya, how you doing? And you say, hey, Demetra and Donovan. Donovan, did you sleep with one of those women with the nails weaving sitting on the porch?
Yeah, I might as well. I would have had a better chance with that one. I could handle that one because I knew the ins and outs.
And Kevin says, the use of government child support system is inherently racist and designed as more of a sophisticated discrimination. As if the government must be fair, then why don't they arrest mothers that deny visitation and time with their fathers?
Times are changing. The rules are changing. They're doing it. See, the problem is Black men are so busy running from the law instead of using the law to their advantage, just like anybody else does. And that's what's happening. Now that more women are in the workforce, now that women are working, guess who has to pay more child support?
Oh, got it. So I was reading, Brother Samuel says, are they really deadbeats? He says, or are they really victims of a system? Okay. And Sharon says, enjoy your evening, Demetra and Donovan. And yes, we will. And Anais says, what time is tomorrow broadcast? It is 3:00 Central Time. So go up or down from there, wherever you are. So 3:00 Central Time.
No, it's Pacific Time, 5:00 your time. No, tomorrow's 1:00.
So yeah, 3:00 Central Time.
Central Time. I'm sorry.
I don't apologize. I get it. You're up there in age. Don't apologize. We're all going to get there one day. So 3:00 Central Time.
If you're lucky.
Right. And Terry says, I get called a pick me, sir. And so like a pick me, because I feel that we have our places in society and our roles in the homes. Yeah, that's what they call modern women who don't believe women should be accountable for much of anything in a relationship. But yeah, I've been called that too, but oh well, right? And Tahari says, when younger, I stopped dating a jerk who wouldn't pay child support, and he had a good government job. Yeah, I don't date men like that who won't pay for their children. Phone books. Yes, Atia, phone books. They was doing the most because they had to come up with a name. And I know men who were in the system for a child that was not theirs.
And then think about this. You could be on death row and DNA can exonerate you from death row. You're innocent. Go, you're free. The DNA, it says it's not you. It's in the best child's interest that you continue to pay. What kind of system is that where you are not go after the father? Go after the real father. But this system is not made to that. It's another system to help incarcerate Black men. Does this make any sense, ladies? You took my driver's license away from me. You got me fired. Okay, now I can't pay child support. I'm in the rears, which I will never catch up. And now you're going to lock me up. How does that benefit the child if I can't be out there trying to make some kind of living, even if I'm one of those guys that will go collect cans?
Yeah, that's spite. That like you cutting off. What they say, cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's just dumb. And Cortez says, I'm glad that I wasn't grown back then. I want my name pulled from a phone book, and I don't have any kids yet. That was like, it's like scary, right? Like, oh my God. Ed Frank says, Pioneer chilling you, so you guys are talking back and forth. And Kubler, you say, Golf war baby. Donovan ain't got no sense.
Yeah, no. Usually when there's a big operation, that's why you have baby boomers. Why are they called baby boomers? Because those are the children of World War II veterans.
Yep. And Cherry Soda says, salute to you, Donovan. You're a real stand-up man. Yes, he is. And Unpopular says, the pioneer, she wasn't in the house to begin with. Laughing my ass off. And Sharon says, Donovan looks very young and handsome. Filters. I'm telling y'all, don't be fooled. It's the filters. And Terry says, 19-year-old college student working part-time at the, he says, PG County Health Department in Lanham. Damn, where did those years go? Laugh out loud.
They went quick. I'm telling me and Demetra were in high school, what 2 years ago?
Year and a half for me.
Year for you, yeah.
Okay, let's see here. For real, we finna get out of here. And Rosalind says, Navy vet here. And thank you for your services. Desert Storm. Donovan, I know you were pissed about what your ex did while you were deployed. I'm in favor of paternity tests at birth before the birth certificate is signed and filed. I am too. Let's just get it all out the way so we won't have any drama down the road. And Terry says, I hear you, Tahari, but we are the ones getting picked. I've met my gator share. Okay. He says, and then Terry says, fair share of parents and family. Okay. And Sunlight says, Donovan is misinformed. A man never gets too old for kids.
This man is too old for kids.
I couldn't imagine. I said if I was to have some kids, which I can't, thank God, they would be bad because I would not have the energy.
Yeah, but by the way, my niece, my oldest niece, just had her baby yesterday.
Oh, tell her I said congratulations.
Another boy. So.
Oh wow! Tell her the name of Donovan.
No.
Harry says paternity test should be mandatory. A nephew got caught up in that bull crap. Yeah, there's a lot of, I know some men who have too, you know.
Horror stories. Lives are just ruined. What about that guy that was a football player, was accused of rape? I mean, just horror stories.
Right. Such a classy lady. I like that name. How you doing? He says, I'm running late. But did he say he is okay if he never sees his children again? So who is that? Donovan or Dr. J?
Yeah. No, that she's talking about me. Yeah, okay. I've raised my kids to be men and do what they got to do. Yes, I would love to see them, whatever, but I'm okay if I don't see them. Okay, you know, I know you guys are probably saying, "Oh, that's horrific." No, it's a man thing. If he lives over here and over there, whatever, I don't have to see my kids to go on, because you know why? I did what I was supposed to do as a parent, and I'm fine with that at this point. I'm fine. I did what I was supposed to do. They're going to be fine, whatever. I'm not saying I don't love them. I'm saying that if I never see them again in life, I'm fine with that because I know they're upstanding men.
I hope that answers your question. All right, so for real, let's get on out of here with these last comments. And Brother Sammy says, Donovan, I'm older than you and thought about having a child with the right person, leaning away from it now. Yeah, you're going to have to eat a lot of Wheaties. I know I would. I just wouldn't sign up for that. I'm sorry.
Well, it all depends. I'm not going to be selfish. If I get a younger chick and she wanted one and she never had one, you know, there's all kinds of technology where you can, you know, get all the stuff, whatever. I don't know.
Hey, y'all do have my prayers and blessings with you, but don't ask me to babysit.
Well, guess what? I won't be here to see him go to college.
Right. Shit, at the rate you going in elementary school, I'm just playing. Steve says, colonizer system, some sisters bought into it. Yes, indeed. And the Pioneer says, this is why I say Black men need political power as well as economic power. We need to not only vote, but hold office to change some of these unjust laws. Yes, indeed. Terry says, only DNA sometimes exonerates you after the execution as well. I have told many women who sued active fathers for child support, they ended up getting less and all gifts stopped. Being spiteful. And Tahiri, you say, that's what my grandfather said to my mother about locking up his deadbeat son, and Donovan can't work in jail. Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, you're doing too much. And
well, you can work, but they want you to work for what, $1 a day as a firefighter and stuff.
Right. Yeah, but when you in jail, you can't work. You know.
I know. But, yeah. but they'll lease you out to these corporations.
Right. And maybe that's what she won't, work them to death. Work. And Tisha says, it doesn't help at all. I refuse to do that to my ex-hubby. We told the judge what our child support arrangement will be. She tried to get him caught up. I'm never that mad. Exactly. It's like I ain't trying to make it hard for the brothers. Just do something, especially if you're doing better than he is. Just do something, right? And Kubler, you say, what in the world is going on with Spirit Airlines?
Hey, do not talk about Spirit Airlines. That's Demetra's airline. She loves it.
And whatever's going on with it, I hope they get it together by the time I need to go somewhere, okay? Because I don't care. Listen, let them all fight, whatever they gonna do. Let them all get on the no-fly list, and then we be good. I'll just sit back and watch it all unfold, and then when the plane take off, I'm never in a hurry to get anywhere. So,
I'm like Phil Scott. I do not fly those airlines. I want people priced out. I only want certain people that can afford to be in the class that I want to be in. I will never fly Spirit ever again.
I will fly Spirit. They got tickets for $30 one way, each way, where I want to go.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'll buy stock in Spirit, but I'll never fly it.
Shoot, I'm an airline member with Spirit. What you talking about? And Terry says, he sure can't personally. I close my child support case in exchange for just every other weekend. Yeah, some women time is more valuable. Like, shoot, I'm trying to do my thing.
Yeah, and the sad thing is when you sisters do show mercy, the brother still doesn't step up to the plate. It's so sad. I mean, he does it first, starting good, then he falls off.
As the old people say, cutting a fool. As soon as we give you a break, then you be back with it. And the Pioneer says a man can have children if he's 70 years old. However, will he be strong enough to play or discipline his own sons once they get 14 or 15? No.
But look, with the cost of what kids cost nowadays, and you're like 50, 60 years old right now, that's a straight bankruptcy. I couldn't do it. Right. I couldn't do it. I mean, and that's the only reason I will not have kids. It has nothing to do with me physically not doing it. It's financially. Do I want to spend that kind of money? No.
Smart man. And Tahiri says the other issue is fathers paying child support and can't see their children. Yeah, now that's some silliness right there. Terry, yeah, we can be a little silly. You should have listened to some of our old podcasts, man. It was Donovan. He would have me like, I could not stop laughing. Tears just rolling down my face. I know, Brother Samuel, we ain't got no sense. And Tia says, Donovan, don't take the bait. Yes, Pioneer says, great show as usual, King and Queen. Thank you. And you guys make it that much greater. And Steve says, I just wish that us Black men and women could do more to communicate and less fighting. Me too. And Black Ricardo, how you doing? He says, hey, the Spirit still got the sponges, the sponge sheets, and the people in the front that back down on your knees. Yes. But you know what? But did you die? Did you die? Did you get to where you needed to go?
See, and that's why Southwest is so successful, because the expectation is low. All you expected is a peanuts and get there. Now, the bad thing I have with Spirit is the fact that it costs $1 to go use the toilet. They charge you for everything on that phone.
You lying. You know what? Pee before you get on the plane, okay? And Tisha, you say you can't communicate with people, with bitter people. I had to be the bigger person, quote unquote, and be kind. So me and my ex could get to the place where we are now. Good place. Yeah, sometimes you got to be the bigger person. I know I had to be. So, and Atia says, some comments are not showing up. I don't know why they're not.
Well, sometimes they don't show up because of some of the language you might have in it or a word you use. So be very careful with the words you use.
Could be, but I'm as far as I know, I'm reading all of them. And Donovan will tell me if I wasn't. Terry said, laugh out loud. I'm with Donovan on this one, Sister Demetra. I'm saying, we all going to the same spot. Is the ride a little bumpy sometimes on Spirit? Sure. Do you think every once in a while this may be it? Yes. But do you get there?
No, sure. That isn't what they're complaining about. It's the last minute cancellations of your flight whatsoever.
Y'all know what that is? Me knocking on wood. I've never had that issue. My flight is, they be like, oh, Demetra K is here. Okay, get it together. I've never had that issue. So I can say knock on wood.
If you guys watch the movie Soul Plane, Demetra loves that movie. That's Spirit Airlines to me. That's Soul Plane. Seriously.
I don't care. Okay, just get me on the plane and let's take off on time. I don't care. And Terry says, I'll not badmouth your Spirit Airlines. I'm just saying.
Yeah, see, Demetra's talking all that noise, but ask her about that 16-hour flight to Abu Dhabi.
And guess what it wasn't on? It wasn't on Spirit. And Steve says, what about the little homegrown terrorist that was duct taped? Oh, the homegrown terrorist that was duct taped on Frontline.
Oh my God, yeah, Spirit, Frontier. I don't go on them flights.
Story on the African Diaspora News Channel for state, so stay tuned for that. That was funny to me. I'm like, what else was they supposed to do? He up in the air acting up, duct tape that fool. And it shut his man. They duct taped his mouth too. You can breathe. You all right. He was breathing fine when you was hollering and stuff. So you good.
Hey, look, I like Stacy's comment. I started looking at Spirit stock options yesterday when I noticed they were in the news. I called Walter and I've made $100 thus far in 24 hours. You're damn right.
Spirit is good for something. And Black Ricardo says they serve water on Spirit. I think, yeah, you
have to. They might charge you for it. Now, if you want those little Dixie cups, it's a nickel.
I mean, you got to buy stuff on there, but for $30 each way, $60 round trip, hell, I bring my own food on the plane.
Yeah, do what Demetra does. She's like Fred Sanford. She brings those fried wings and stuff, and got the plane smelling like.
Keep your water. And TNT, how you doing? It says YouTube has an auto block on comments with certain keywords for your information. Yes, they do. So that's why I said we got to be, kind of careful, y'all. But yeah, that is absolutely right. And Atia says, oh no, bumpy. Yeah, it could be a little bumpy, but you survived. You didn't die. And Stacy says, and how you doing, by the way? I started looking at Spirit stock options yesterday when I noticed they were in the news. I read that. You read that? Okay, I thought this person talking about you. Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go. And Cortez, you say, see y'all on tomorrow's live. Yes, indeed. And Brother Samuel says, I had a good experience with Spirit. They get you on luggage. That's why you take a carry-on. You military roll all your clothes up in the bag, and then you just go on. Listen, I fly Spirit all the time, and I've taken suitcases and bags, and I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? Oh, you thank you so much for helping us in your service. And I get right past them with my bags.
Hey, and she didn't tell you, she has that really low dip line with the red lipstick,
Well, a lot of those flight
and making sure that the rump could be seen.
Listen, a lot of those flight attendants wouldn't want anything that I have. I'm just nice to them, like, hey, how you doing? And just get right back with my bags. So I haven't had to pay yet, thank God. And let's see here. And Sharon said that was funny. And Steve says he looks so cute, duct tape yelling for help. Well, I mean, who gonna help you, boo? And Terry says, I saw that, laugh out loud. I'm too chicken shit, but they went straight ghetto with the duct tape. Made me think about when I lived in Alabama. My family used to duct tape for their car bumpers. Yeah, I mean,
they still do that out here in LA.
Stop it. And it worked though. He shut up though, didn't he? And Stevie says, not the greasy brown bag going to St. Louis, Donovan. Yes, whatever I got to do. And Terry, how you doing? Says more men should take women to court for visitation instead of arguing with them. You have rights. I agree with you. Black Ricardo says Frontier still losing domesticated pets on the flight. Well, where they going? And Mr. Pirebrain says the stewardess got in trouble for duct taping that food. Yeah, they said it was protocol that they suspended them, but I mean, what else was they supposed to do? Let them run roughshod all over the plane? And Sharon says I fly for free standby. Anytime, sucks doing anytime I think during holidays. Yeah. See, that would be cool, but I think that would be drive me nuts.
Yeah, because all the flights are full. When all the flights are full, you're just screwed.
Yep. And Terry says they watching your melanin for those melatonin injections. And the Pioneer says Donovan, does the queen show up with the red lipstick and that one soft shoulder out?
Every time. When
I travel with a hoodie on and sweatpants and regular tennis shoes. I'm trying to be comfortable, right? But when I get there, that's a whole different story. I'm kidding about that too. And Stacy says, and you said my girlfriend said that she got round trip tickets to Miami for $100 by going the Spirit ticket counter from Houston.
Usually when they overbook, they ask people if they could, go tomorrow or the next flight later on in the afternoon. Yeah, if you got time, do it.
I'd have said no, but I'd be like, y'all tickets is $30. Well, I don't want to wait here. But anyway, y'all, that is our time. Thank y'all so much for being here on this Thursday evening with us. We will be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time for Free Flow Friday. We're going to talk about everything. If you guys can think of something, throw them in the comment section, and we will get to them because we like to talk about everything. Well, most everything that has transpired throughout the week. Also, we have a Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. If you want to donate to the show, we appreciate it.
Do even better. Become a member.
Become a member. That's always easy. But anything that you guys have done and will do, we appreciate that greatly. So you guys do have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Thank you guys for being the other side of the conversation. And thank you, Marcus Guyton, for everything you do behind the scenes to make the show go further.